thought I'd done that so carefully. Anyway, never mind. We're going to go on a quick jaunt, or journey if you're an X-Factor watcher, along the electron transport chain in the light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis. So, where does our journey begin? Sorry, was that sarcastic? It sounded a bit sarcastic to me. Anyway, even I thought that was quite sarcastic. So, we've got light energy coming in as photons into our photosystems in our antenna complexes. And we'll remember from a previous video, because obviously you're watching all of these in order, that light energy is being transferred down through these accessory pigments and into the reaction centre. Now the reaction centre in this photosystem, Photosystem II, which is where our journey begins, I know, get to that later, is converting all of that light energy, that's accessory pigments, and the chlorophyll A is absorbing maximally at P680 wavelength. And what it's doing is it's giving off a high energy electron. So let's just label that high energy electron. Should pick a nice colour. High energy. Pink. So this represents a high energy electron, and it's just got all of that light energy from those, can't spell energy either. And I think it's important to say here that that electron is actually emitted from the chlorophyll, so it's actually losing an electron. And if ignore this bit down here for a second, we'll deal with that in a minute. And where is it going? It is going to an electron acceptor. So this is something that accepts electrons. So the chlorophyll A is actually emitting a high energy electron, and that's being picked up by our electron acceptor, which is then going to pass it on to other electron acceptors. So, just to deal with this bit underneath, I would normally deal with this at the end, but hey, you know, it's got number 3 on it, let's deal with it now. So, this photosystem is going to be an electron short, and where it gets that electron from is from a process called photolysis of water. Now, photolysis means splitting of water using light. So the light energy is forcing a high energy electron of chlorophyll, and that chlorophyll needs to get one back. So water obligingly splits into an electron to replace the one lost by Photosystem II, leaving behind protons and oxygen. And notice where that is happening. That is happening in that inner thylakoid space. So we've got our antenna complex in the membrane, loads of surface area for absorption of light. The light's hitting it, bouncing off a high energy electron, but the photolysis is taking place in that inner thylakoid space, which is fluid filled. And what fluid is it filled with? Well, it's probably mainly water, is the bottom line. So here we're giving off lots and lots of protons. So where is our electron going on its journey? So it goes to some small mobile electron carriers, and they're represented by these pink blobs in the membrane here. And they are transferring the electron along an electron transport chain. And one of the things that, one of the proteins that that electron on its journey goes through is a proton pump. Ooh, I love proton pumps. Can I just say, be really careful. I'm reading a lot of protein pumps, and that they are made of protein, but they are pumping protons. And where are they pumping them from? They're pumping them from the stroma and into this inner thylakoid space. So we're building up a high concentration of protons in the inner thylakoid space here. So, having released its energy, so proton pumps fueled by high energy electrons, passing their electron now from Photosystem II to Photosystem I. Now I know this seems completely bonkers and backwards. Why not go from 1 to 2? That would be more sensible, wouldn't it? But apparently Photosystem I was discovered way before Photosystem II, and so Photosystem I was named Photosystem I first, and then somebody discovered Photosystem II and thought, oh, what shall I call this? Can't really call it Photosystem 0, so I had to call it Photosystem II, even though in order, in this system, the electrons are flowing from 2 to 1. So that's dealt with that. Now, Photosystem I does exactly the same as Photosystem II in terms of absorbing light energy, being passed down from accessory pigment to accessory pigment and into the reaction centre here. So this is our reaction centre. What's there? Now primary pigment. So just like Photosystem II, and that's chlorophyll A. And that chlorophyll A does exactly the same as the chlorophyll A in Photosystem II. It gives off a high energy electron to an electron acceptor. So once again, Photosystem I is losing an electron to a primary electron acceptor, which is then going on to a smaller mobile carrier. No photolysis needed here, because although this is losing an electron with the light energy, it's gained one from Photosystem II, so happy photosystem. The electron then carries on its journey and ends up in the stroma and being used to reduce NADP. Now, you've got to remember P for photosynthesis, so we're not dealing with NAD, so it's a similar molecule, but NADP in photosynthesis, to make NADPH or reduced NADP. So, products then. We've got reduced NADP, we've got oxygen as a waste product, and of course if we've got a nice high proton gradient here, I'll draw it on the end. Sorry, not a very good drawing of, let's give it a strange shaped head. We can also have ATP synthetase, which will be using the energy from that proton gradient to join ADP and inorganic phosphate together as the protons diffuse through and into the stroma. So we're also going to make some ATP. These are going to be used up in the later part of photosynthesis. For the oxygen, that's a waste product that will diffuse out. So you kind of need to know this sort of sequence, and I like to remember it, that the light, the electrons are doing this, the action centre, moving up, they're doing that. So the other way that you'll see this arrangement is to just follow the path of the electrons. I'll use orange because they've used orange. So path of electrons, leaving photosystem II, passed along an electron transport chain to photosystem I, photosystem I, passed along to NAD. And you need to be able to recognise this from a diagram like this. Now again, nonsensically, this super duper diagram is called a Z-scheme. I don't know what they were thinking. I know, it kind of looks like an N. I know, yeah, but should we call it a Z-scheme? Because A-level students will have to learn that forever. Oh yeah, lol, let's go and have a cup of tea. Makes no sense. Anyway, so we've got NADP on there. So these are the sort of the essential features. So what does this represent up here? This represents our electron acceptor. Colour that in. So oh, put too many P's in. No, never mind. So we've got an electron acceptor here. So the orange represents the path taken by the electrons. At the bottom we've got photosystem II and I, and then we've got our NADP, which is going to be reduced into NADPH. And of course what you'll often see then is photolysis put in with water, electrons going that way, protons going that way, and oxygen being given off. And again, you know, that could be in any order. So if you see a diagram that looks like that, it's representing the Z scheme. And of course what's happening along here is this chemiosmosis thing, giving out ATP as a final product. And the reason that you'll often see this is because there isn't just this idea of going in a straight line along from photosystem II to photosystem I and from photosystem I to NADPH. That system is called non-cyclic, meaning it doesn't go in a circle. Photo, meaning it happens in light. Phosphorylation, meaning we're going to make, I'll have to concentrate for a minute, phosphorylation, meaning that we're going to make some ATP, we're going to add phosphate to ADP. Non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Z scheme. Lol. In a line. But there is also, just to make your lives even better, there is also cyclic phosphorylation. So this is cyclic photophosphorylation, and guess what? That's where the electron goes round in a circle. So cyclic photophosphorylation only involves photosystem I. And we have been speculating in the office as to whether they discovered cyclic first. So I'm just going to move that up. Oh no, you can see it. Super duper. So cyclic photophosphorylation only involves photosystem I, gives off a high energy electron to an electron acceptor, and then it kind of goes backwards. So this is cyclic, 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 and then back to its own photosystem I. And that's just because of the nature of the arrangement and the ability of the electron acceptors to accept electrons. So if this is giving off electrons, some of them will go this way, but some of them will go to some of these small mobile carriers over here and then go back down. So this electron acceptor can pass either to this, non-cyclic, or to this one, cyclic, and just make ATP and no need to do any of this photolysis, and you should definitely be able to compare those two systems, cyclic and non-cyclic. Okay, so there we are, taking our electrons on a journey, quite a long journey actually, never mind.